What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is another review of a pair of Nike Vapor 15 Elites. This happens to be the 25th anniversary edition. No, unfortunately, not the hyper rare numbered variation, but the silver variation with the Volt swoosh. So very excited to take a look at these. Those super special edition 25th anniversary sold out in seconds, and they were sold, I think, at like 4 in the morning or something. It was like in Eastern time. So I wasn't able to get my hands on a pair, and right now I'm not willing to spend the USD $1,000 or whatever they're trying to resellers are trying to sell them for. So anyway, point being is we're going to do an update version of the Vapor 15 Elite, see what they feel like on feet after having reviewed the launch colorway, and of course what sizing is like and all that stuff. We'll get into tech features and just take a look at how cool these metallic silver boots are. So very typical Nike, delivered from the future in a cardboard box. Very typical Nike box here with silver all around. This is a size 9 US with the Vapor 15 FG variation. I didn't get the AG variation because I figured the FG probably had just kind of a better look to it, in my opinion, even though the AG variation is really, really awesome. I love the way that feels underfoot. And with the Air Zoom unit, it does a great job of digging into the ground, both on AG and FG pitches for the most part. So really, really good. So let's get into the unboxing. Here we go. Ooh, already seeing little Volt as well. What I do want to appreciate really quick is all of the different Mercurial Vapor logoing that you can see here embossed in the paper. So you've got the Mercurial with kind of that arrow on the M. You've got the MV Mercurial logoing here. Little Mercurial logoing here with kind of that arrow all the way through, that slash through. The little miniature like Mercurial logoing. Let's see what else is on here. But yeah, very, very cool. So sort of an homage to all the Mercurials of the past, the Vapor being one of the oldest in, or the oldest, I guess, in the generation of Nike boots, aside from maybe the Tiempo, I think. Wow, holy moly. Okay, these are wild looking. Very crazy, metallic silver, black knit material, and then of course you've got that Air Zoom unit both in the heel area in black, and then that 3/4 length Air Zoom unit in the Volt yellow as well, with the homage to the Mercurial Vapor XXV Mercurial Vapor 15. And then in all of, similar to the paper, in this upper, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. There you go. You can see all of those little details in the upper. So the metallic parts of the upper, all the specs that you see are actually all of the different Vapor logos, which is a really cool tech spec feature. I'm not actually sure. I haven't seen the super special edition ones up close and personal, but my guess is that it actually has a decent, very similar look to this as well. I think this boot looks fantastic. It really does a nice job of standing out. The black accents do a nice job. And then of course the Volt, which is an homage to all the Vapors in the past that have used Volt. That's very, very cool as well. So let's get this out of the box, this other one. And they come with a string bag as well, which is pretty cool. And similar to the upper and that paper, it has all of your different Mercurial logos, which is fantastic. Really, really cool bag. Nothing there except for those logos on either side, which is awesome. So we'll put this back in the box for safe keeping, and we'll get this down on the floor and we'll get going from there. So very, very cool. I actually really like the way these look. I think these are gonna pop on feet. I've already seen CR7 where the Superfly variant of this, which has the hyper pink, which is the other kind of iconic Mercurial color. We've seen a lot of hyper pink Mercurials in the past, as well as hyper Volt materials or Volt Mercurials as well. So very cool homage from a color perspective. And then of course, silver was not really used except for one of the first Vapors in the R9 variant of Vapor 1 or 2, one of the really, really early on ones, and no one really had seen the silver before. And that is, to me, is a really cool out of the box thinking. You really want to get noticed on feet, and they damn well got noticed, because this is a very, very cool homage to that colorway. So a couple tech specs about the Mercurial Vapor. I'm sure you guys all watching this, if you're new to the Vapor 15 Elite, that is totally fine. I will go over all the tech specs, but for those of you who are here just for the color, you guys can enjoy this little tour around the Vapor as I talk about the different tech features. So you've got a fully Flyknit construction through this lacing system here with the black. So all the black up and around this accent here on the front is all the normal kind of Nike Flyknit that we expect to see on a lot of their boots nowadays. Really high-end materials. They feel really premium as well. I love the way that the Vapor is cut. I think the cut around the ankle looks really awesome. It looks super aggressive and fast. You've got their Vaporposit Plus upper, which is this upper material. It is quite soft for a synthetic. It is a grippy grid mesh with the premium lining for ball control, speed, lockdown, all that stuff. So it is a mesh-based material. And then you've got an internal cage, which is going to be really difficult to see, I think. Maybe, there we go. So you can see stuff on the lateral side there. You can see my finger moving on the inside of that Vapor. And you can see that cage piece where my finger is along the inside. And what they did with the original Vapor 15 is they discovered that the best way to get optimal lockdown is actually in the pattern of an old, I think they based it off an old Roman sandal, which only puts kind of stability areas only in the places that you need it. So you've got stability areas here on both sides. You've got stability areas here on both sides, and then here on both sides, and then of course the lockdown in the heel. And what that does is basically what it does is it helps Nike get this textile-based Vaporposit Plus upper as thin as possible with also having lockdown from the inside. The inside lockdown reminds me a lot of the speed cages that some of the Adidas speed boots have had. So it's very similar to that, but they do have it. Nike does a great job at marketing, and they've got a story behind this. And that is honestly a pretty cool story, and it's very traceable. You can see it in, I guess, sandals from hundreds and thousands of years ago, which is pretty cool. So this overall is text-based upper. You've got the Flyknit here, and then of course the star of the show for this new generation, which is the Mercurial Air Zoom. So you've got this Air Zoom logoing here in the heel area, and then you've got the Air Zoom here on this 3/4 volt Air Zoom unit. This is of course the FG model, which is apparent from these star-shaped studs. That's always a tongue twister for me, plus a lot of these bladed and chevron studs here and bladed studs at the back. This is a very aggressive sole plate. This is a sole plate that is probably on the top 5 FG boots I wouldn't wear on AG, although for the sake of this review, they're gonna be on AG because that's what I have access to. I know guys who do wear these FG boots on AG pitches and they're usually fine. I prefer something a little bit more conical, a little bit more neutral. So even something like a triangle stud is good for me. Those are a little bit more aggressive than conical, but for me, the star-shaped studs on the artificial ground is super aggressive. Like it's almost to the point of being a little worrisome with my ankles and knees. And so I tend to prefer something a little bit less aggressive, similar to the way that in the GX series, I tend to prefer the AG model over the FG model for games and training sessions just in general, even though the FG model, it's less aggressive than this, but I do prefer the AG model because Nike does a great AG model of both the GX and this, which is fantastic. And I've reviewed both of those. So if you're interested in those, you can go check those videos out. Air Zoom does a fantastic job of making you feel like you have a pillow or a cushion when you're up on your toes. It really does a nice job of that. I am I don't know if I like it or not. I think part of the reason I've had sort of a negative vibe towards it is just because the Vapor itself doesn't fit my foot very well. Yes, it's a lot wider than Vapors in the past, other than maybe Vapor 13 with the all Flyknit construction. But for me, a boot that doesn't fit, the tech doesn't hit me as positively simply just because I can't really fit in it. Yes, it does provide a really interesting, unique sensation. It's like nothing else on the market, but I actually prefer something that's a little closer to the ground, gives you a little bit more of a, I guess, one-to-one sensation with the ground. And I actually prefer the Carbitex insert from the Adidas speed boots compared to the Air Zoom. I think that just gives you a little bit more snapback when it comes to responsiveness, even though on AG pitches, I know that guys have said that even though the ground is really hard, having a sole plate like this that's got that Air Zoom unit in it really does allow and take a little bit of pressure off of the really hard pounding that you get from playing on AG pitches. So that's something just to keep in mind as well. Overall though, this Vapor 15 is sensational looking. I think honestly, it's probably in the top 5 boots as far as aesthetics go, not necessarily colorway, but just in the way that the silhouette goes for me, I think the silhouette looks sensational. I think it looks really good. And just the logoing with this Volt swoosh here, and then with the Mercurial Vapor 15 logoing, the Nike swoosh, I think they've done a really nice job of giving this Vapor a nice homage feel with the metallic silver, with the Volt, with the black. And I really do think this is a nice looking pair of football boots, potentially one that'll stay in the collection, although I doubt it just because it doesn't fit my foot very well. And I tend to like boots to keep that actually fit my foot. So for me, this is a Oh My Days rating of a 9.2 out of 10. Not the greatest, but damn near the top. So very, very cool. I do really like this. It does pop. It does give me homage feelings. It does give me nostalgic feelings. And they did a really nice job with the design of this boot. And of course, Vapor 15 is objectively one of the best boots and highest performing boots on the market. So it's hard to argue with that. So without further ado, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video where I'll go over sizing, what it's like to wear as a wider footed player. Should you buy a pair of these? And of course, if I'm not gonna keep these, do you guys wanna buy a pair? Let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here at the pitch with the honestly stunning Vapor 15 Elite. These are so sick. I think these are some of the best looking Vapors to date as far as Vapor 15 goes. Vapor 15, I think these are sensational looking. Let's get straight on feet. So this is what the boots look like in the sunshine, or I guess the cloudiness. Again, this is the FG sole plate, so this probably won't be great for me as far as both the boot fit comfort and also the underfoot feel, just as far as pivot power and stuff. I just tend to prefer something that's a little more conical for the most part, unless the boots are bladed studs are all right, I guess. But these star-shaped studs are a little bit tough to deal with for me, just because they are super, super aggressive, which for some people are fantastic. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, God, I wish I fit better in Vapors. Oh my God, they're crushing my feet. We just got done with training as well, so give me half a second, guys. My feet are cramping like a mother right now, right in this area here. So Vapors, as you guys might know, holy crap. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. So as you guys know, in this area right here, the Vapors are just so thin. They're definitely wider than Vapors of the past, so that's something to think about if you are somebody that was kind of on the cusp of wearing Vapors before. This is what they are like. Let's get these tied up and we'll just deal with the foot cramps, because that's just what we're out here for, you know what I'm saying? Just grinding for you guys. So here we go. All right, so tie them up, and God, man, they look so good. I just wish Vapors fit my foot better, that's all. They've got a very, very responsive sole plate. The Air Zoom is super unique in my opinion. I don't think anyone would outright disagree with me from the standpoint of feeling underfoot. It really does give you a nice cushiony sensation. We'll get even with super thin socks, I can tell these are just not built for my foot, which is so unfortunate, because I think the Vapor silhouette is one of the best looking silhouettes historically in all of football boots. And I do think that a blank canvas Vapor just looks iconic regardless of which generation it is. So here we go. So there is your look of the 25th anniversary, 25th anniversary Vapor 15 Elite in this silver Hyper Volt or Volt colorway. God, they're so good looking, honestly, especially with the white socks and then the black Nike kit on. I'll show you guys my full kit in just a second, but I want to give you guys a good look around these boots. Details on these boots are also really cool. Similar to the proper special edition colorway, I think these just look so good, man. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Full kit, silver boots, Volt accents, black, and these are with the Air Zoom, which is such a unique sensation. It's really bouncy and it feels really nice actually underfoot. It's not something that I ever got used to, so for me it's kind of like, would I actually use it? Maybe. I'm sure if it was on the GXs I would be perfectly happy with it, but it does sit really perfectly right on the ball of your foot. So when you are running, when you are pushing off, there is really a decent amount of decent amount of responsiveness as you're bouncing up and down, and it really does feel that way. So props to Nike for put the air zoom in there. The silhouette of this boot, I know I've said it 3,000 times already. It's awesome. It's so cool looking, especially in the silver colorway. I think this looks unbelievable. This might be unpopular. I think these actually look better than the super special edition numbered ones. You can hate me down in the comments below. That's no problem. It's all good. I just like a little bit of color accents. I think these look super, super good, especially in a black kit. If you are somebody who wears a black kit for your team, these are the ones to go for sure. Other feeling, the Vaporposit Plus upper does a really nice job of wrapping your foot. They are slightly too thin for my foot and my preferences, but they are gonna fit, I think, more people than Vapors of the past, just because they do have that little bit of extra width and a little bit of adjustability. The sole plate is also a little bit on the wider side as well, compared to something like a few generations ago in earlier Vapor days. The heel area is really nice. The lockdown is fine. I am getting a little bit of slippage on both heels on the interior, so on the inside of my heel, kind of right there, and then again right there, I'm getting a little bit of slippage. That might be just because these socks are really thin, but it also could be because Vapors just have an interesting heel area. I don't know. I know I spoke to Michael actually a few days ago. I think he's selling some of his Vapors just because they don't fit just as well. He's shifted over to an older school pair of Tiempos for games, or for training sessions and games. And a lot of that came from just slippage and blistering here in the heel. So if you have experienced that before with Vapor 15, let me know down in the comment section below. Other than that, there isn't really much else to say. Oh, touch on the ball, here we go. So touch on the ball with these is awesome, honestly. It feels very similar to, as far as feeling goes, to me, it feels a little bit like GT, in the sense that you've got a little bit of something. It's thinner than GT, but it's definitely got a little bit of that sense of like just raw one-to-one sensation, super thin material. Vaporposit is super thin, so that's fantastic. And you are gonna get a really consistent feeling when you're touching the ball in different areas of your foot. So whether you're passing with the instep, passing or shooting, or dribbling with the lateral side of your foot, or you're taking a touch down, you're gonna get a pretty consistent feeling, just because the Vaporposit is the entire upper. So there's no areas of the foot where you have to play differently, or you have to, you know, adjust to the way the boot feels, I guess, around. It's a really consistent, nice, no BS, high-tech, no BS football boot. And for me, the Vapor is a objectively really well-performing football boot. It's just not a football boot that I can fit in that well. So unfortunately, I won't be doing a 1-month review on these. If you guys do want a 1-month review on a pair of Vapor 15s, I have one on my channel. It's the launch colorway that is white with that fiery purple red color, and those were sensational looking, and they were an absolute doozy to break in, because my feet are just not built for Vapors. They're just too wide for them. So if you guys are interested in Vapors, I would definitely check them out. They're a great pair of football boots. They fit true to size. So as you can see, my toe goes right up to about the end. I've got maybe just a fraction of a thumb's width on the end, which is totally fine for me. That's perfect. The fit, the sizing is really, really nice. They're just a boot that's too thin for my foot, unfortunately. And so I won't be able to wear these for any more than the review. But yeah, stunning football boots, really, really nice. Would recommend if you have a medium to thin foot. So that's it for the review, guys. I appreciate you sticking around till the end. If you stuck around to the end, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out website for any boots that might be on sale after the review. You guys can go pick those up. They will range between 8.5 US and 9.5 US depending on the model. So for these 9 US, these will be up on the website pretty soon, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you guys all. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.